going to talk about agentic engineering today. And what is agentic engineering and how is it different from vibe coding? That's the question. The problem is that LLMs are only as good as the context you give them. So if you give them vague instructions, you'll get vague results. And if you have no structure, you'll have no reliability. And this is the very entry-level talk. So maybe some of you know already more than I do. But if you have no experience and you want to start, it will help you. And we live in an era of agents. And we need structural approach because we all know what vibe coding is. It's like asking something to ChatGPT, which is out of context, or you give it a context, like you design a complex prompt. But it's time to put AI on rails, and this is what agentic engineering is all about: putting AI on rails. There are a lot of new concepts and standards, and new ones emerging every day, like LLMs, TXT. The agents, MD, SQMD, MCP, agent harnesses, and as I said, something new emerges every day. It's hard to keep up, but I'll cover some of it. So what is LLMs TXT, and how does it help you? When you interact with agents, some of them use search for it, but especially the free ones like OpenCode, if you're not on the plan, it might not use the very efficient search. So if you asking it to migrate some of your stuff from Pygrunn version 5 to 7, it might break. It might not find the right context, and it's burning minutes on search. So doing the prep always helps you. So what LLM.txt is this LLM optimized format in Markdown or text format, which is written by the package owners. So this is all the context that you need. So if you have a library, like a third-party library in Python or anything else, think about making one for it. So the very essential documentation for agents to read. It will help you to increase and spread it easier. So an adaptability of the library. It has instructions to install, test, and use the code, and it improves your accuracy. So what you need to look for is, well, domain, then LLMs TXT or LLMs full TXT. Some of the examples, and I'll show some of them, like, I don't know, for instance, the Merriam, well, these are the new notebooks. And this is how they look, like this, the instructions. Agents just read them nicely. The Entropic, for instance, this is one of the full things, like how to use the API, what are the messages. So instead of parsing the pages and searching the pages and failing, you just give this and your agent will have better results eventually. And LLMs can write awesome documentation. A couple of years ago, I was very skeptical about it until I discovered DeepWiki. If you don't know about DeepWiki, it's deepwiki.com, and I'll show you, like, they already have indexed like a great number of libraries. Let me open the home page, and well, as you see, a lot of it already available. You can also index yours, and you can also chat to it. Like if you say, "Give me a hello world with LangChain," using OpenAI, it simply gives you the result, and that's the documentation that you talk to. You talk to documentation. I think it's awesome. And what's good about it is that you can also, if for one or another reason documentation is missing. In one of the libraries that you want to use, you can just give them a DeepWiki link, and there's also MCP available. So if you can install it in your harness tool. This is what works for OpenCode, and this is what works for Cloud Code, and you're already better to go. And what are the agents, MD and SQMD, and how do they help you? They guide you through the code base. It helps you to write, review code with less mistakes, and instead of repeating yourself every time, I like how we did with vibe coding. You simply write instructions once, and then you reuse them, and you let your agents use them efficiently. And a couple of agent SIMD examples. This is one of the best examples I would recommend to study. And let's review it a bit closely. This comes from LangChain. This is their in LangChain. Let's review it a bit closer. So they what it is, like the structure, repository structure, briefly introduced. What is the core layer, implementation, development tools. This is very, very important. If you don't list the tools that you use, agent will likely start to discover. What it will do, it will burn tokens on finding it, it will make tryouts. But if you document it in here, it will not struggle with it, and it will produce better results. And it will be cheaper eventually. And so they describe things like how to test, how to install, how to run single tests. But this is also important. Like with make test, you run all the tests. But if you want to run individual tests, just remember, this is very essential. And linting. If, like in era of vibe coding, your results would be inconsistent with your style, and by running lints, agent might identify the errors. And then if you instruct it, if you make it part of your workflow, it will try to fix them. If not automatically, then manually. And the configuration file, yeah, sure. I mean, this is a PyProject YAML and the make file, of course. And how to make PRs. This is the greatest example of applying it. Yeah, code quality standards. I will give you a link to the presentation. Hopefully, I'll give you a link where to find it. You can look for it afterwards, so you don't need to make pictures or anything. The testing requirements also, like, is there like integration test? What is the checklist? So let's move on to another example. This is one of the libraries that I wrote, and this is my Agentic. Again, it's about safely extracting zips, the project mission, what needs to be deviated, the hard constraints. And also, and I'll cover it briefly in the next pages, but if the weird notation that you see here, but basically, if you have code in your Agentic, it's if you have errors in your code, then your results will be incorrect. So, and how do we solve it? We solve it by testing. And there's a tool that allows you to test your Python code inside your Markdown, inside your documentation. And then, for instance, here, I need to rely on availability of this path2 zip file, and this fixture, it creates that malicious file for me. And that's how I'm able to run this documentation and verify that my documentation is correct. Because if I have incorrect documentation, my results will be incorrect. But again, I mean, we have this the constraints and what is the security. For instance, in this library, I forbid to run tests outside Docker, because it's about like zip bombs and protecting from it. If I run the test on my computer might run out of memory or out of space. And that's why here in agent workflow, I mentioned that the test should be executed only inside Docker. Testing rules, yes. And you can say you are allowed to test in single environment, all the full metrics, like all Python versions. Yeah, this is just another example of how to write the Agentic. And so the agent harnesses tools like open code or cloud code, or they have this the comments for creating this Agentic file. And if you have nothing else to use, then at least use that, because it will try to analyze your repo and create that one for you. It might not be very correct, but the idea is that you like have a skeleton and then you further improve it yourself. And let's show a couple of skill examples. And so what is the essential difference between skills and agents? Agents, when you give it a task, agents is read automatically always. And skills are the agent decides himself whether to use a skill, whether to load the skill or not. That's why your skills need to be super descriptive. And let's look at it. For instance, this is one of my favorite libraries, which replaces the Jupyter notebooks. It's called Merriman. I give a talk about it on one of the Pygrunns. But this is for converting Jupyter to Merriman. And this is a skill that Merriman team came up with. So you give a description, what it is, and they have also, well, basically the commands that converts it. And they have also the automated Python command that translates the notebook, but it does not work for like 100%. And whatever that script doesn't do, the skill will change. Similarly, they have another skill for simply creating a notebook. And here, because this is great, by the way, for if you have a new library that you want to quicker adopt. So this is basically they describe how to use Marimo, like what are the components and how to use them, what is the cell, and stuff like that. Yeah. And this is, for instance, one of the Anthropic's own the libraries with skills they published, and it's for creating PDF. You see again the Python code of how to create PDFs, how to extract text and stuff. So all of it does not go into agents, but goes into a skill. Documentation validity with agents and skills, it becomes very crucial, because if your docs are wrong, think about versions like Agentic 1 versus Agentic 2. So you need to keep an eye on it. Your results will be outdated too. And the quality. How to solve it? So one of the most useful libraries for this one, for Markdown, is Markdown lint, and it's then Markdown lint CLI. It allows you to quickly scan your Markdown, and if there are errors, if there are any obvious errors or markup errors, it will correct them, even auto-correct them for you. And what it cannot, you'll do it yourself. PyTest Codeblock, as I mentioned, it's a library for testing your restructured text and Markdown documentation. So if you have snippets, it will help you in Python. It will help you find out whether they are wrong or right. And another issue is that you need to make sure that your docs are synced with the code. And I will show you how to do it in a moment. So the Markdown lint, yeah, you can start on any system. With Brew, you do this. And there's also pre-commit, which works great. I usually use it. And the spec-driven development. So we used to write in pre-LM era. We used to write spec. And yeah, we still do it, but then now we use LLMs to use it, and how. So my advice for you is start writing things yourself. If you create a public API, how do you want it to look? What's the happy path? What's the error path? What are the errors? What are the edge cases? Write some pseudocode. You should like the API. If you don't proceed further. Yeah, don't reinvent the wheel. Just do the prep, because then you will have better results. And then, so harness tools like OpenCode or CloudCode, they have a plan mode. So if you want to solve a complex problem, start in plan mode, because the plan mode is designed for it. It will ask you questions critically, think critically. And eventually, after maybe 5 or 10 minutes, you will have a more robust version of what you need to build. And then, when you have that, oh yeah, I forgot to mention this one. So this guy, Obra. He's a god of skills. He has a library called Superpowers. It contains a lot of great skills, but this one is my favorite. It's a brainstorming. So what you need to do is just simply, you can either copy it to a designated folder where your skills are, and then brainstorm about your concepts, ideas, anything you want to talk about. Check it yourself. And yeah, once you have the spec all outlined, you can start already the build mode. And save the spec. It will help you to write documentation for it later. Committing becomes very crucial. So I initially, I never have any changes uncommitted before I go into development mode, because I want to see the diff. By the way, diff, to reduce the diff noise, I recommend to use Difftastic. It eliminates all the spacing issues, and you see just whatever is changed without the noise. And LLM Feeder, it's a browser plugin that can convert your page into Markdown. This is how it looks. You just simply click here, and then your entire page is copied into Markdown. It helps you. So what's next? So I'll show in a demo how to create Agentic and SkillMD from scratch for any project, and how to create a skill, and how to update your documentation. Before I go further, so there are a lot of tools, and some of these tools, they do not adhere to the common standards. So the common standard now, which Claude does not follow, is to have skills into the agent skills directory, but Claude does not recognize that. So, but Claude reads symlinks beautifully, and OpenCode does not, and other tools that do not. So by simply doing this, you make it available for all tools. Yeah, but let's measure the before and after, and I'll be showing the a simple trial. So I'll be using one of my libraries, which I wrote, I think, 13 years ago. And I'll be giving it a task. I asked an LLM what would be like five top features to implement. And it came up with this task. And if I don't initialize my library, if I don't make it ready for Agentic, it will likely fail. It will likely fail to follow the standards, run the tests, and update documentation. But let's see how that works. I'll do it on increase speed. So it starts doing something. It took the prompt. This is the open code. By the way, this is a free version that you can experiment with. It costs you nothing. They have this free tier. So it does something, and eventually it comes up with results. And yeah, just watch the agent trying to, at some point it will start to struggle. Yeah, so you see it tries to find Python, it does not manage, it fails. Eventually it scans the repository and finds out how to run tests. It will find out that I have UV and it will run it. But yeah, if you see the results, then it's not that bad. It's a bit of incomplete, and you saw that it already failed to immediately run tests. Yeah, I'm not very happy with it, as you can see. So, but let's see how you can create Agentic and basic skills from scratch. The objective is that repository it's not touched by Agentic yet, so I'm going to do that for it. I'm going to create Agentic and the most essential skills that I actually need in my daily Python projects: the coding standards, dev setup, dev workflow, peer review, and update documentation. And if you just list the skills, and I'm not going to use the init command that I recommended earlier. I'll be using the repo bootstrap. It's the skill that I designed. It's in the repo.agents. You can check it out later if you like. So, and I'll show you how it works. You simply select the skill. You start the opcode, and you start the skill, the repo bootstrap. And this is already the skill. You'll see the context of the skill, and it starts to work. So it reads the code of your repository, it identifies the makefile, the PyProject YAML, reads dependencies, and eventually it produces maybe a bit earlier. This is the agents MD. So it's already created a workflow, the steps for the agent to complete the task. Like it identified that I use rough, I used Thai, I use docx, and this is the workflow for like fixing failures, how to run, even some parts of test-driven development it incorporated already, and it created the 5 skills that I ask, including the development workflow. Of course, you need to check it, but it already gives you this speed. That's what it's about. So yeah, and I actually liked it, but let's see how it works before and after. So now I will have Agentic repository. I'll give it the same task and see how it works, and you will see some immediate improvements. Let's see. So it started to do something, and let's see. So it's will now, I think, come up with a plan, which is, I think, good. Yep, so it already identified that it needs to do a couple of things, including testing. And it applies it correctly, and let's see, I want to scroll to the part where it already runs the test. So you see, it already knows how to run tests. So in the first place, without the Agentic in it, it struggled with it, but now it knows exactly what it needs to do. And you will see that it's also running somewhere here. Yeah, it runs linting to make rough. It creates that comment. So, and I think this is what makes it different. This is where you go from vibe coding into agentic engineering. And it even identifies that there are some issues because I did not include something in ignore, and the docx identified some issues, but they are irrelevant, and it will understand they are irrelevant and will move forward anyway. So yeah, I really enjoy watching the agent doing its work, following the standards, running the tests, and updating the docs, and I like it. But what if you want to create your own skill? Like you need a skill. Yeah, there's also like a skill authoring in a repo that I mentioned, and you can, for instance, create a skill. This is a bit silly way because I don't provide any documentation for Thai, for instance. If I would do, it would make a better job. But this is how it works. Like you skill authoring, and then you create a skill for migrating from MyPy to Thai. Just for the purpose of demo. So it starts thinking about it, and it's busy with creating a skill, and eventually does create a skill. And so it does not always succeed. For instance, it's created slight mistakes here, but I, as someone who knows it, I can verify. For instance, one of the errors that it made, it did not identify the TOML configuration correctly because I did not provide documentation for it. If I would do, it would do it better. But this is how easy it is to create your own skill, and I like it. And auto-update documentation analyzes the code, find misalignments, and update the docs. There's update documentation skill, and it does it nicely. So in the same repo, after already initializing the agentic, I ran this script, and it identified a couple of things which were valid. I mean, that repository exists for a long time, so I did not expect anything to go wrong, but it suggested me a couple of small changes, which I thought, yeah, that's actually correct. So if I run the diff here, yeah, so what it did suggest is that probably this is more readable because it returns a list better than this. And it identified that my, oops, yeah, it identified that my, where is it? Yeah, my agent skills director is not part of the directory tree in my documentation, which was initially created. So I think it's created. It did a pretty good job on this too, and I like it. Okay, and this is about safe exploration of LLMs and agents. So some people, like my friend Sardar, did not know that open code has free tier, but a lot of these tools they already do have. So if you think it's a burden of like buying immediately subscription plan, you don't need it. You can start just for free. And you can also run them locally. Llama is a great friend. Qwen 3.5 is a great model for coding tasks. It works for OpenCode through Llama. It works with Cloud Code as well. Some of the models I use, so this Gemma 4, 31 billion, if you have the hardware for it, it's amazing. It recently transformed my very old PHP website just on local hardware into something that works. And the other model that I use very frequently for local stuff is this one, the 35B and NVF P4. It's a new standard from NVIDIA, very efficient and lower memory consumption. And as I mentioned, there's free tier, but as usual, like if you don't pay for it, your data is used. But I think for hobby projects, it's all right. And one of the greatest offering is OpenCode. And I used the Minimax. So part of this presentation, the initial two demos were made by the free tier Minimax 2.5 model, but there was also Big Pickle, which is slightly less good. And Nematron, also fair. You can also run it locally. It's the one that NVIDIA came up with. There's also KiroDev. So Amazon, they developed their own Agentic IDE, which is quite very new, but they also have great offerings. Like they offer Claude Sonnet 4.5 for free, limited use, but I mean, for just 1 hour that you can spend an evening, it's fairly sufficient. And what else do you need? The limits apply, of course. But as usual, like if you program too much in the evening, stop it. Have fun. So that's how I like to use it. Yeah. But if you're desperate, even Alama Cloud has also some free offerings. It works for open code, works for closed code. So some closing words and tips. How much am I on time, by the way?
You're good. It's 51.
Okay.
You have 9 minutes left.
9 minutes, great. So enough questions. So start thinking skills. So if in past you were writing like some doc for yourself, like how to do some task, like install this and install that, and then do this and do that, try to transform it into skill, because it helps you a lot. It saves you a lot of time. Create a skill for logging. Something to think about when designing a skill. Think about migration too. So what if you created a skill that does something? So think about, okay, if you update a skill, will you be able to apply the updates as well? So think about it and try to apply it. The benefits, yes, your colleague asks, can you help with X? In past you would say, yeah, I'll explain it to you. And then now you say, yeah, I have a skill. Here you are. And if something is not clear, then you can still help. But the first aid goes through skill. Do you have questions? And I have a great set of links that you can use, like the Anthropic, Mardelin, DocX, OpenCode, CodeCode, KiraDev, also everything that I talked about. And this link, if you want to find this presentation, you can make a copy of it. You can make a photo. So presentation will be available there. It's not there yet, but I will post it there. That's the last link in my blog. I'm ready for the questions.
Thank you, Artur. Anyone, any questions? Yes.
Well, thanks for your talk. I'm also working with the agents file I have, and I have one skill basically, but I end up putting quite a lot in my agents about how it should code. Do you have any guidelines on
Sure.
why you should use a skill in certain, because I don't see a need for skills for a lot of things that I do. For example, for saying that it should do testing, linting, stuff like that. That's in my agents because I want it in all my projects. But so what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, my thoughts, they come from experience, and there's a balance, of course. So recently, and a lot of it's a very valid question, and a lot of people are puzzled by it. Even I've seen some studies that go wrong. Recently, there was I think Versal. They published analysis of, actually they rewrote their entire skills. They first had agents, and then they had rewrote it. They've rewritten it to the skills, and then they went back because it was working badly. And if I read a study, I mean, these guys, I don't know what they're thinking about. They were just using it wrong. Yeah. So the agents. First of all, your agents should not be very big, because it also applies to your context window. You don't want your context window to be super big. So keep it neat, keep it lean. Put only essential stuff. The difference is that your agents are always read. So whenever you start a task with an agent, it reads the agents always. The skills are picked up selectively. So, and you think, yeah, why do I need skills? And there's the caveat. So you know that the context window problem exists. So at some point, your history will be compacted. Your initial instructions, your agency will be compacted, and it will not reread it again. You see? So, and that's where your skill helps you, because skills are they're picked ad hoc. So for very essential stuff, that's why they also very essential stuff like the agent workflow. I always put it in some minor information, like the very basic, the not very detailed as in skills. But that one I put in agents MD because it's always pulled. And but the skills I need for the detailed instructions, which are also not limitless. But the skills, they are also much more robust. For instance, skills can also have assets. Like in this repository where I showed you this dot agents, one of the skills has assets. It has make files. It has PyProject.toml. It has I think pre-commit configuration. And that all goes in skills. So skills are more advanced. So that's my answer to you.
One follow-up question. But the skills are also loaded in the beginning, right?
They are
Because it
loaded
has to
ad
know
hoc.
what the skills are. So
They are
then
loaded ad
that
hoc.
also applies for your token limit. So that's
Sure, but I mean, so skills are not loaded in the beginning. Skills are put ad hoc. That's why you have description. So your
so only the
agent,
description is put in.
yeah, your skills they do have description. I think. Let me see.
Thanks.
Yeah. So agent, and you think about like for instance, there's also PR skill, in that is made there. So your GitHub Copilot or whatever it is, if it looks in a skill, it knows what your PR requirements are, and it will load it in the context, and it will review PR based on those requirements. And those you don't put in the PR in agents because eventually it will grow too big, and if it grows too big, it means you are shooting yourself in the foot. Next question. Yeah. By the way, whoever tells you he's an expert, don't trust him. Don't trust me. I want you to figure it out for yourself. Because this whole landscape is so new and so emerging. We did not have all this like half a year ago. So nobody is an expert. But you know the problem. Go look for yourself and verify, try, and share.
Cool. Well, thank you for presentation. By the way, it was really dense. It was really, I don't know, it's kind of rushed, but it was good. But I have a question about security, because if you start with skills, you quickly learn about marketplaces of skills, which you can kind of add like a repo with skills, and then you start like adding skills written by others. And these skills come with scripts.
Yeah.
And these scripts execute on your machine.
Yeah, they can be malicious. So, I don't have like a golden direct answer, but if you really care about security, there's this library called LLM Guard. It's very advanced. These guys, they really know what to do. Like it can analyze your documents. If you embed your documents, if you have any user input, which transforms like from docx or PDF into something, scan it and only then save it. If you have any user input, like a prompt and skills, so if you run these skills through that LLM Guard, because they have a lot of different things for prompt injection, so just use these tools, and then you are more safe than without. That would be my answer. So just put LLM Guard in between, and only work through it.
Sure. Thank you.
I can even look for it like this.
Any other questions in the meantime?
Yeah, I tested it. It's amazing. It's it's really great that they offer it for free. It's Protect AI. This is it, and they have documentation. Where are the docs? I should look them in GitHub. It's somewhere on GitHub. I don't know where to look for it now. LLM Guard. Any more questions?
Okay, if there is no final questions, we would like to give you this as a small token of our appreciation for the talk.
Yeah, great. That's the best present ever.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And let's get
Yeah, this one, the LLM Guard, like it kind of attacks. If you read it like thoroughly, it's excellent. Great. Thanks for listening.